guys, welcome back to John's Conscious Life. It's John here, and I've got a review for you today. I just watched Cowspiracy, and as many of you probably already know, man, this is like a really, really good film. I know I'm supposed to wait and kind of give my rating system at the end, like I've been doing, but just it's amazing. Basically, what it is, actually, Cowspiracy.com. If you go there, I just want to give a quick little shout out here as to how you can get it and whatnot. You can go to their website, 14.95 or more. You can buy or gift a digital copy, and there's a donation slider so you can like pick how much you want to pay. They're a nonprofit. AUM Films, I believe, is what it is, and so they're nonprofit. Um, yeah, so you can buy or gift it, tax deductible if you give a donation. Or you can buy the DVD, order that for 19.95, or you can organize a screening of this documentary in your area, and there's a link that you can click on the website that goes to that, and just follow that. It's pretty cool. I know there's actually one. I don't know exactly when it is. I'm not going to be able to attend. It may have just passed, but I believe it's still coming up. There's one in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Check it out. Look it up if you're in the area and you're interested. Check it out. If it's still going on, which I believe so, you may still be able to get tickets. It's worth it. Please watch this movie. Whether you pay the $14.95 to see it online, you get the DVD, you watch the a screening in your area, whatever you've got to do. It's amazing. So basically, just to get started, and I'm sorry if I look down, guys. I've got notes I had to. I had like 5 pages of notes as I was watching it, and I kind of had to condense it down into an outline. And I don't want to like script it out and try to memorize all my lines and stuff. So I'm going to be looking down and reading some notes. Hope you understand that that's just for the authenticity of what's going on, and I don't really care that much about my video quality. I want to give it an honest review, so I don't want to leave anything out. Hope you appreciate that. So, an intro to Cowspiracy. It's a documentary that deals with the environmental issues of animal agriculture, fishing, how it all kind of ties into climate change. It displays how taking conservation approaches and measures for like water and power, etc. Things you do around your house, changing your light bulbs or whatever. These are all very important things, and they make a difference. But it's really just a drop in the bucket when you look at the effects of eating animal products and how that all has a global impact. So here's some facts that are listed in the documentary, and you can go to the website. There's links for everything, where they source everything. So I'm not going to bother trying to source everything here, for the interest of time. If there's something you don't agree with or you'd like to learn more about, by all means, watch the documentary for one. It's an hour and a half, well spent. Um, yeah, but you can check out the sources on the website as well, cowspiracy.com. I'll link that below. But here's some facts that they list in the documentary that I thought were noteworthy. Even a 2 degrees Celsius increase globally can make such an impact that and raise water levels, drought, famine, that we could end up seeing climate wars for land, for especially if places with low-lying areas start going underwater, millions of people getting displaced. Yeah, you can only imagine what's going to happen there. Um, I see this one around. A lot of people know this one. All forms of transportation contribute 13% of the emissions, greenhouse emissions, while cattle, livestock is 18%. But now, according to a 2009 statement, um, that number could actually be as high as 51% due to all the methane that's released daily. So we worry about fossil fuels. We worry about burning coal. We worry about fracking. which uses 100 billion gallons of water a year in the US. But animal agriculture uses 34 trillion gallons of water in the US every year. Not to say that these other things aren't important, fossil fuels and emissions and everything else that we can do to try to make an impact, reduce our carbon footprint, but we've got to put it into perspective here and see the bigger issue, the main issue. It takes 2,500 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of beef. 2,500 gallons of water. So you're looking at almost 10,000 liters of water to make a pound of beef. So runoffs from farms and pollution and whatnot have caused over 500 dead zones in our seas, in our oceans, completely devoid of life, both animal and plant. Nothing lives there. And those cover 25,000 square miles. It's insane. We cut down an acre of rainforest every second. So in the amount of time you've been watching this video, 6 minutes has gone by so far, plus my intro, we're at like 7 minutes. 420 acres so far of forest has been cut down since you started watching this video. Let that sink in for a second. As a result of cutting all these forests down, we're losing about 100 different species every day, plant and animal combined. About 100 species go extinct every day. We could have fishless oceans by 2048 if these trends continue. We stay on this pace. And we're in the middle of the largest mass extinction our world has seen in 65 million years, since whatever wiped out the dinosaurs came along and caused that. So if these 8 or 9 things don't have your attention, well, I won't even comment on that any further. Hopefully this has your attention. So the documentary goes on to discuss kind of not only what the issues are, but where, what are we doing? What are we doing about these issues? How are we stopping animal agriculture? How are we giving up the meat? What are our leaders like Greenpeace and other environmental groups doing for us? Our frontline warriors. Greenpeace declined in every way. They refused to do interviews for this documentary. Pretty much just wanted nothing to do with it. Many others. I don't mean to just single out Greenpeace, but many of the others just didn't want anything to do with the documentary, or their answer was very plain and simple, blaming fossil fuels and it's a man-made problem, and water conservationists talking about, change your leaky faucets and take quick showers, and really not even acknowledging the issue of animal agriculture and how it's depleting every single resource, like in every way. Water, food, etc. I'll touch on that some more. Now, Amazon Watch was one that actually started off when the girl was first being interviewed. Kind of started off a little bit shaky, and I was just kind of shaking my head at her. But she did actually bring up something interesting. She talked about how many environmental groups and activists don't speak up because people are actually being killed for speaking up against the animal agriculture. And she speaks of, in Brazil, around the Amazon, how, the example of Dorothy Stang. She was a US-born nun devoted to saving the Amazon. She was gunned down. A 1,100 activists have been killed in Brazil to this so far. Um, People who are against animal agriculture because it's in the way of the best interests of the industries and those making money. So these groups aren't going to tackle this issue because it's business suicide. These foundations, although they may be not for profit or even non-profit, they still require funding. They still require ties with political figures or groups. They take their own livelihood in their hands and just cut it open if they act upon these things and discuss them too thoroughly. Now, Will Anderson, he was someone who was featured in this documentary. He was the founder of Greenpeace Alaska, former member of the board of directors for Greenpeace USA. He had this to say. He said that Greenpeace refuses to accept food as the problem. And it's, the facts are right in front of them. And, I mean, everybody knows it, but just won't take it on because, like I said, it would be kind of suicide for the foundation, for the business. But how can you not accept food as the problem? Livestock as food. 150 billion gallons of methane are released daily into the atmosphere. That's insane. So the environmental groups aren't really doing much, but the Animal Agriculture Alliance, who are lobbyists for animal farming, did accept an interview. They kind of denied any real issue. They kind of said that there is no real problem with animal agriculture, and they refused to comment. They just declined any comment whatsoever when they were asked whether they have any ties or affiliations with any of the environmental groups like Greenpeace. So the woman was kind of, she looked very, caught red-handed, as they say. It was pretty much just okay, let's move on. I can't talk about this sort of thing. So, yeah. So there's a lot of facts in this documentary. There's a lot of examples of how those who are supposed to be there and fighting for us are kind of failing miserably. But there's some really good bright spots as well. And so where does this leave us, Well, another negative, unfortunately, is that due to the Patriot Act in the U.S., I'm in Canada, but I still feel very strongly that what's happening in the U.S. and globally affects me greatly because, we're all one species, we're all one planet, and Canada and the U.S. are very similar in a lot of ways. We're neighbors, and a lot of the policies are very much the same, and I think there's a lot of influence across the border. But in the U.S., under the Patriot Act, you cannot disrupt profits of animal agriculture, even if you're telling the truth. It is against the law, according to the Patriot Act, to badmouth or bash or disrupt in any way the profits of animal agriculture, even if you're just speaking the truth. That is insane. Freedom of speech, freedom of information. I mean, these are all supposed to be morals and foundations on which the U.S. Constitution was written and, on which the nation was built. But no, according to some sources in the documentary, these environmental groups and activists are actually on the FBI's top watch lists for terrorism. Because they're against the interests of the country. They're against what is best and safe for the country. It's ridiculous. These businesses, lobbyists, government agencies, and officials that help to perpetuate this unreal destruction of our planet and all of the life that's on it, they are the real terrorists. Again, these businesses and lobbyists and people in the government that say that it is okay to rape our planet and the life on which it grows, or the life that grows upon it, when you say that that is okay, that makes you the terrorist. Because this is all of our planet, not just humans, every species of plant and animal, and nobody has the right to say that it is okay to do these things while also saying it is not okay to talk about it and speak the truth because it might disrupt profits. That's terrorism. So, moving on. We grow enough food. Here's a bright spot. We grow enough food annually to feed 12 to 15 billion people. But yet we have a billion people on the planet that are starving. 82% of the kids that are starving in the planet, or on the planet, they live in countries which export their grains to feed animals in the industry so that other humans can eat them. So there's starving children. There's probably been multiple children who have died of starvation during this video around the world. It's because their governments sell grain so that the animals can be fed so that we can eat the animals. Sorry, but that's fucked up. On a personal note, I sponsor a child. Okay? Talked about this before in a vlog. I sponsor a child. I've done my research. I know what group I trust. I've been sponsoring a child for almost a year now. And it was a life-changing situation. I'm really grateful to be in a position where I know that I can help. But it really is a very small band-aid solution to a huge, huge wound. Okay? We need to smarten up. We need to all stand up. And we need to realize that this is not okay. Go back on my video about 10 minutes and listen to some of those facts that you can then check the sources for. Use Google. Use other websites. Look this shit up. But the good news is, at the end of the day, we do have the power. We can change the world immediately. And we can make a huge, huge impact. Because every day, by going vegan, you can save 1,100 gallons of water, 45 pounds of grain, 30 square feet of forest, 20 pounds of carbon dioxide, and on average 1 animal life per day. These are staggering, staggering numbers. When we talk about sustainability, the only real sustainability for a population that continues to grow is veganism. I'm just going to end this by quoting the last quote of the movie. You can change the world, and you must change the world. Thanks for watching, guys. Go to Cowspiracy.com, buy this movie, organize a screening, go to a screening, do whatever you've got to do to see this film, pass it around. We need to know the truth. We need to spread the truth. All right, bye, guys.